5:30, call this workshop to order. Do a silent roll call here and jump right into the discussion. Who'd like to start off? I mean, last time we left off was, we were talking about how much that we're wanting to change as far as charge was.
Okay, so what we passed out this evening, last time you guys had a summary of it all. So this is in actual ordinance format. So I don't have to worry about there being some missing sections like we ran into last time. So as far as the amount of the fees, let me find where that is, just a second.
Section 5.
Section 5, okay. So when I researched the state statute that was referenced in the code that we borrowed, that doesn't even pertain to us. A whole lot of fourth-class cities have reference of that code, and I'll verify this with James, but when you read it, it pertains only to St. Louis and other cities.
First class.
Well, no, that's not how it's worded. The state
Really?
statute is worded, and St. Louis doesn't even meet this qualification, so I don't understand. But of municipalities with 500,000,
It was, yeah, it was
Or was it a
really
million?
specific. Yeah, it was a
it
million,
was a
I think,
million
but-
population or better.
We're a
So,
little short.
huh?
We're a little short.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And there's an amendment that goes into effect on the 28th, so on Thursday of this week, but it only amends it to say, or if the city is in a county with a million population, so we're closer.
Okay.
So it doesn't even pertain to us. So I struck it. I did find another fourth-class city that has the same basic ordinance but doesn't reference that section of state statute, and they've had theirs in place since '21. So, and again, I will run all of it by James before it's brought to you all for approval. But what that did, that state statute limited that it could not go higher, the fees could not go higher than $200 every 6 months. Now, what we've come up with is not a lot higher, and I think we might run into problems if we try to go a lot higher on the fees.
Okay.
So what we've come up with is we reference in here, so yeah, section 5, I want to say, my apologies, I didn't number the pages. It's on the third page.
Yeah.
About the bottom third of the page. It starts talking about registration fees. And so it says in here, not to exceed 200 per semi-annual period for residential property. So we left it at 200. And there is, do you remember where we put that section of code in, Jared? We just talked about that. Here. Okay, on the next page, section E, so 5E, talks about failure to pay fee. And it talks, the very last sentence, any person found guilty of failing to pay any required fee shall incur penalties as provided in section 505.120. That is a section of our code, of the municipal code of the city of Salem. And that section states that anyone found to be in non-compliance of these codes, because that's the whole building code section, is 500, can be fined up to $500 or 6 months in jail, or a combination of both. And so that's our own code that sets it at that. So,
That would be the teeth in the first part of
Yes.
this, of the ordinance.
right, yes. Yes, referring to a pre-existing section of our code that establishes those
Because that would
fines.
establish the bigger fine or
Right.
jail time if they
Right.
don't pay their fees.
Right. So there's that answer.
Okay.
It's probably not what you want to hear, but there's that answer. A couple of other things that I wanted to make sure that we talked about. On section 5 also, on that third page, there's on 5A, talks about the fee amount. So that fee not to exceed 200 per semi-annual period for residential property. But then I have here commercial property based on primary floor square footage of a rate at 5 cents per square foot. Now, we plugged that in. That rate is not from another city. That's the 5 cents per square foot is what we're currently charging for demolition permits.
Okay.
And so we can change that, but we figured this was a starting place.
Okay.
So, okay, so that's for commercial property. In section C, this was something I wanted to have a discussion with you all about. So we as staff, when we have discussed this in staff meetings, we wanted to change that. It sounded awkward to us at first about the fee begins accruing at the start of the second calendar quarter after the initial registration date. So we wanted to change that to on day 31. However, okay, as I was researching some more, and I was trying to figure out, okay, why would this say this? Because other city ordinances say this. If we're talking about abatement of a building that needs considerable amounts of work, 30 days, to find a contractor is gonna be tough, much less to get the work done. So if we want to give them true due process and an actual realistic opportunity to abate a building, then they probably need more than 30 days or 31 days. So when you think about this language, it's going to do a couple of things. So say we had this passed already and we served a building owner tomorrow, okay, so on August 27th. So first of all, for billing purposes, when we go to bill the buildings that are on this registry, then we've got to keep track of, oh, that one's 30 days started here, and this one's 30, I mean, it's going to be all over the place for when those fees started accruing. If we keep the start of the second calendar quarter, we serve a building owner notice tomorrow, then that fee starts accruing January 1. And no matter when they get served, their fees start accruing either January 1, April 1, July 1, October 1, and that's it. It'll be one of those 4 dates when those fees start accruing, and then it makes billing much simpler, instead of you never know which day of the month you need to bill somebody. Does that make a little sense?
Yes.
And it also, so again, if we served notice tomorrow, that building owner has all of the last quarter, and they have all of September, so they've got 4 months to get this building in order, which, depending on the severity of it, might be a realistic timeline. They would never have more than roughly 6 months. If we serve them the 1st of July, and we don't start billing to the 1st of the second billing quarter, so again, that would be January 1, would be when those fees started accruing. They'd have 6 months to come into compliance.
And then-
go ahead.
That would mean too, so there's 3 stipulations that gets them into that vacant building, but that gives them time too to not only get out of that, to get in compliance with that, but also possibly even have it not vacant anymore.
It also allows for the appeal processes
Yeah.
that this ordinance allows. So there's 2 steps with the city. So the first one is asking the code officer to reconsider and reinspect. And then if they still don't agree, they can appeal to you all, the Board of Aldermen. And so it gives plenty of time for that appeal process to play out as well before fees start accruing.
Okay.
So like I said, as I researched it, I'm kind of leaning toward let's leave it the first or the second quarter
Okay.
before we start accruing fees.
Okay.
Let me keep moving forward here.
The part about the agent owner,
Oh,
things like that.
so one section, yeah, the language is not in here, but again, researching other cities' these codes, on the 3rd page again, this is going to be section 4, it starts on the 2nd page. It's 4B, where it talks about when we serve a property owner notice, all the things that have to be on there, okay? What I found in another community's code is that we only allow, it's as if it's a single property owner, or maybe a couple, do you know what I mean? But it doesn't talk in here about who is the responsible person, then if it's a LLC, or a corporation, or some entity, maybe it's a mortgage company, who then needs to be the signer of record. And so I'd like to incorporate that information that also identifies, we've got here for a corporation, a partnership, a limited liability company, a limited partnership, a trust, a real estate investment trust, and then also for a bank, financial institution, or a mortgage company. And so I'd like to add that into that section 4B, if you all are good with that. Like I said, it won't change any of the other pieces of the ordinance, it just adds some definitions for who the signatory is, if that's the ownership of it. Okay? And I think that covers, I did get all of the questions that I had previously of James answered. So I'd like to know what questions you all have. I do want to share one other thing with you. The question was raised last time, about were there any other materials besides just plywood for boarding up? And I'd mentioned that there was something that some other cities use, and it's polycarbonate sheeting. So I looked up the pricing, okay, to show y'all, and I'll pass this around. And they recommend the same thicknesses, same everything between the plywood and the polycarbonate. So a 1/2-inch thick 4x8 sheet of CDX, this is ground contact pressure treated pine plywood, is $46.18 a sheet, okay? Same dimensions, 1/2-inch 4x8 sheet of polycarbonate is $888 a sheet. So I think we just stick with the plywood language in our ordinance. That would be, and I have this if you all would like to see it, so, yeah. But I wanted to just bring that to share with you all the difference there. Yeah, what questions do you all have?
Well, I had it, it's maybe down the road, but, so we identify and we put someone on as vacant and abandoned building. And they follow protocol and they board it up. And I thought about the plywood. Who's responsible for maintaining it to be boarded up like that?
The owner is.
Who's gonna tell them that, hey, your plywood's rotted and fell off the,
That would be our code officer.
okay, well, what's gonna happen when they say, well, I put it up, but someone tore it down?
They're still going to be responsible. It's just
Okay.
like the same as your house now.
I agree with your answer.
I mean, if
I just wanted to
you, yeah, your windows are all intact now. If somebody comes by and throws a rock through, it's on you ultimately to fix it. You might be able to press charges and get some remediation that way, but it's ultimately up to you to fix it.
Yeah. You
So.
still own the property.
Right,
Yeah.
If
correct.
I'm not mistaken, I thought, and we've read through so many drafts of this, I thought there was a section in there about keeping it maintained,
There is.
I may have missed it.
but,
You guys use a lot of big words. And
yeah, section 6, probably D here.
6?
Let me find it.
you got it, Jared?
Yeah, I think it's 6D.
You want to read it? to
Second
us?
to the last page.
Yeah, the property registered shall be maintained at all times in a manner to not be a nuisance under
Chapter 215.
Chapter 215. Yep.
Yep,
All
or do-
register shall be maintained at all times in manner to not be a nuisance under chapter.
Right.
Okay.
And then under section 7, the very last page, top paragraph, any vacant property secured, that's by the city of Salem, subsequently becomes unsecured. City of Salem shall be permitted to re-enter and re-secure the property.
Right. That's if we secured it initially.
Yeah. So we want to read through that and just make sure that language
Naturally,
is
if-
duplicated as far as if they did it, but yeah.
Okay.
Other questions?
This is, how fast can we get this implemented?
I mean,
Well, I was just sitting there thinking, the same question, if we implemented it, how many would be identified, I mean, immediately?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have that number off the top of my
I
head.
know you don't, I wasn't asking
Right.
for it, but I look at the city's administration and working right now, and
Well, and
I'm
the,
putting more on your plate. I hate to pass this and then not enforce it.
right. The other thing that would put a kink in it at the moment, I don't know if that's one of my phones. Oh, sorry. Is that our animal control officer, code compliance, has resigned.
Yeah.
So we will be moving someone into that position from the PD, but do you know what I mean? It's going to take a while to get him up to speed. It's going to be, yeah. So, I mean, that, you know, we kind of talked last time that some of these that we have defined in here under the definition of vacant property, some of these criteria will be a Jared issue
Right.
that the regular code officer can't address. Most of them would fall under the code officer, but again, until we get that person up to speed, we could potentially have a delay. I can't say what that could be. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know how long it's going to take us.
I understand.
But that definitely throws a kink in things.
Yes.
So
Well, it's January the 1st.
that would certainly give our owners plenty of notice that, hey, this is coming.
That or come to, back to the board and say, hey, we're still not ready for it.
Gotcha.
But I'd like to see this implemented as soon as possible.
I
Right.
would too, and I'd like to let them know when we're gonna do it.
Okay,
And I know we don't have the manpower to do it, but it'd be nice if we had properties
right.
that,
Oh, I think we could come up with a list. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that part's going to be hard.
okay.
I mean,
Then
I just
like-
don't, and I'm not trying to be mean,
I'd
I'm
like to
just,
I'd like to send a letter to those property owners saying, hey,
Right.
January 1st,
so do we want to put, I'm just asking,
Okay.
I'm not trying to speed it up or anything, but do we want to go January 1st? Do we want to tentatively say maybe October 1st? That gives us the month of September? And then we can kind of see where we're at.
Yeah,
And if need be, put it off at there.
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that sounds good.
okay. Okay. Is there any particular type of notice to the public that you all would like to see done?
I mean, you guys pretty well advertise it everywhere you can, whenever you hope, when we have these meetings and this has
Right.
been on the
But the average
forefront
person
of our
doesn't
meetings.
go look at our meeting agendas.
Right.
I mean-
Post it. Here, I'm just throwing this out there. How about we post it in the paper?
I know the
Right,
Salem News
put it
will
right
run
on
it.
notice.
Right.
Okay.
We could post it, so there are a couple different options. We could put off passing it until that time, or you guys we could queue it up in one of the next upcoming meetings with at the end of every ordinance, it has a date when this is effective. And that's where we could put the October or January date. We could do it that way.
Okay.
Because once it's already passed, otherwise, if we're trying to notice before it's passed, all we can say is, on this date, the board's going to vote.
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's kind of
No,
up
I
to,
think
All right, that's
after
fine.
the board votes,
okay,
I think we need to do it public.
okay.
I'm
Well,
not sure.
The other thing we could do is we can make sure that we do 2 readings in 2 separate meetings and potentially queue it up for both September meetings. And that way, it's just, do you know what I mean, another way where folks could come to meetings, could address you, but that way it's in 2 different agenda packets.
Probably a good idea.
We could do we could do a past date and an effective date. It could be
Right.
2 separate days too.
Right, yes. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Did that, probably missed that. Right.
So there's no way to do an insert that would, I think the list of the property owners that are on that list right now, that we suspect,
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'd say if we can't, but I would like to give those property owners a heads up that we suspect might qualify. But, I mean, I know we can't, but.
Certainly not
I'm
before
just trying to
something's
eliminate
passed.
the excuses of I didn't know.
Right,
And I want to talk to someone.
gotcha.
Well, they're gonna have that right anyway, though.
They will.
They're gonna be,
Regardless.
regardless, even when they're
Right.
cited, because they're gonna have the right to an appeal
Right,
process
Right.
in this,
Good
and so that's
point.
just part of it. So I don't know that procrastinating on passing this is gonna fix this
I
in any
agree with
particular
that, too.
way, so.
I say,
Okay.
let's,
I know the public wants to see this,
right,
Yeah.
so.
Right,
But
we
I
do
think
have a
for the
large portion of the
notice,
public who wants
It's a good thing to publish it out there and to let them know that we're, actively pursuing these things, so,
okay,
I think it would be hard to reach out to potential violators ahead of time, just in case
right.
you miss one, or you find out about one later on and they didn't get the notice, the verbal notice or unofficial notice, I guess, ahead of somebody else.
no, I think we're all in support.
Yeah.
okay,
And we just, we've got the teeth in it. We've got everything we can do.
okay.
Now let's,
I will need to run it in its entirety with the things we've talked about this evening by James. So
okay, yeah,
that will be the next step,
after his blessing, we'll
right?
Yeah.
put it on the schedules in September, you think?
We'll see.
October?
I mean, that'll be the plan. It just depends on his schedule and how quickly he can get through it.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. All right. Then we're done early.
That it.
Thank you all.
That's a good thing. Well,
It's the end of this workshop.